Hello, this video is to show you how to delete assessments you do not want from your grade on Brightspace or what you call the D2L. So there's complexity here. If you look at my screen here, you find the list of all this grade and you find the external learning tool and so on. So basically, if I choose to delete this assessment here and I click on this button, go to action and delete it, that won't work. The reason why it won't work is because this assessment is associated with my grade. So if I go to the list of enter grade here, and I'm going to find that assessment here. So the only way I could take it off is to first disassociate this assessment from your grade. And then they are more, especially for the external one, it's almost very difficult to get that done if you do not understand the process. So if you click here, it's going to show you where this assessment comes from. You could see from here the information that it shows when I just point my mask on it. It shows here association information for um, chapter 1 to 3. So the best way that I could delete this is to go to course admin and then go to the external learning tool. And from the external learning tool, we were looking at discussion chapter 1 to 3. So right here, when you click on this external learning tool, you'll find all assessment here, which is all I have here. They are all enabled, which means they are included in the grading. When I look at the enabled ones, these are the same list I have earlier. I don't have anyone that is disabled. Now, I have to disassociate this enabled one here. So if we look at the case of discussion chapter 1 to 3, what I will do, I'll click on this draw down arrow and then delete it from here in the first instance, and then go back to the grade and delete it from there after this action. So click on this and confirm that you wish to delete this assessment from your grading on Brightspace. So that is deleted. That means that link is removed from your grading. Now, if I go back to grades, and you could see that it's not disassociated. I cannot delete discussion chapter 1 to 3. I'll click on this link here and then go to more actions and click on delete. Sometimes it doesn't work in just single go. You have to do it a couple of times, or maybe 1 or 2 times, but not several times. If that doesn't work, it means you still have to, you perhaps have not disassociated, but this one is obvious that it has been disassociated. And I'll click on delete. And then confirm your delete from here. Or you click on it again, discussion chapter 1 to 3, and then confirm your delete from here. That is the one I want to delete. So now it's gone. Now, if I did not do that, if I choose to delete this without disassociating it first, that won't work, because if I just click on that link and click on delete, I'll continue to have that problem. So it won't really be deleted from the grade. Now, that is for the external learning tool. Now, let's assume this was internal learning tool. I don't have anyone I wish to delete here, but I could show you how to disassociate it. Now, if I come here, you can see when I click on this assessment is associated with the grading, which means it's part of the grading. So when I click on this link here, it's the associated discussion topic, introduce yourself, and so on. So what I could do in this case is to go to my assessment. This is assessment type discussion. If I go back here, this is a discussion function from the Brightspace. So this is not external, this is internal from Brightspace or D2L. So it gives me more information here about this assessment. So because it's from Brightspace that this assessment was created, it's not from Mangrohe, it's not from PRC. So what I would do in that case is to go to assessment where you find discussion assessment here. You click on this discussion and then you find this option here which says introduction or introduce yourself. That was the assessment. So this one we have right here. So what I could do to this introduce yourself is to um, the first instance, I would edit the topic by making it not graded. So right there, and I've done that. So you say in gradebook. So what I would do in this case, I will come here and I say not in gradebook. So I want to remove it from gradebook and then save and close. Now, when I go back to grades, you could say right here, introduce yourself is not graded. But I want it to be graded. So all I want, I could delete it now if I wish to delete it, but I'm not deleting it. So in order to put it back to grade, I'll go back to assessment and I go back to discussion and then scroll down to that particular assessment, which is introduce yourself. Again, I'll go to edit topic and then include it back to the grade. Add to gradebook. Save and close. Now, when I go back to grades, so dash is a introduce yourself and commitments. Let me refresh. Right, so it has to be added. So sometimes you have this technological grid. So I'll go back to that discussion one more time. And that was introduce yourself. So the one we're looking at was introduce yourself and commitment. So it's completely different from the X. So again, I'll just so be sure we're dealing with introduce yourself. So that should be the grade. Sure, this should be the grade. Okay, so that is fine. So you save and close. Now you go back to grades. And right here, this is not the one we look at. That was introduce yourself. Right here, introduce yourself. You could say that this one is associated. No, not this one that says introduce yourself and commitment is disassociated. So I could go back to discussion and add that. I could find a piece of assessment from here. Right. So I can't find that piece of assessment from here. So it could be one of these, just perhaps title for the assessment differently. So one thing I could do to find out where that assessment comes from is to come here and perhaps edit the assessment. That could give me some clue on where this assessment comes from. So basically, this could have been an assessment that was introduced from another source. So I could comfortably delete this assessment because in the first instance, it's not part of the grading. Okay, so one thing I would do, I would delete it. But if I don't want to create similar assessment, it's also very easy. You go back to assessment and you go to discussion and create the same assessment if needed. I hope you find this video useful. If you have any comments on what you try to do on D2L and you find difficult, you could leave a comment and I could look at it and help you to create a video that could help you solve the problem.